Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you all on this webinar. And we have with us Mr. Anil Vama with us. And he is a experienced professional and he is a alumni of IMT CDL. He is a IMT CDL alumni from PGDM 2006 batch. Mr. Anil has the experience of 27 years in the corporate and he has the expertise in IT operations, CRM, quality management and e-waste management. He is managing the Pan-India team of engineers and managers at Green Space Eco Management Limited. And we are really proud to have Mr. Anil Verma, our alumnus, over here with us, and he'll be talking about cloud computing today. So, thank you, sir, and over to Mr. Anil Verma now.
Sure. Speaking. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for giving brief intro about myself. So it's very nice and that you all, everyone are here for attending the web session on cloud computing. So today I'm going to tell you about the cloud computing, the latest technologies which are going on in the market, in the industry, and all the industries presently which they were doing the computing manually now are moving towards cloud computing. Cloud computing is basically a network based computing. It's a new class of network based computing that takes place over the internet. So earlier, every computing activity that is taking place physical on the premises of the company, which require a huge amount of space for installing the servers and other related IT equipments. And along with that, the network has to be strong and the cabling has to be done for network purpose. All this infrastructure is required on the premises of the company. So now every company has moved toward cloud computing. So it's a new class of network. So basically in this case, every computing activities that are available on the cloud, and whether that is server, storage, firewall, everything is accessed through the internet. And in this, we can say it uses internet for communication and provide hardware, software and networking services to the clients. So all the services, whether that is related with the hardware like server, desktops, storage, software, then Windows, Linux, Sun Solaris. So all these services and networking services that is available through the internet mode. So no need to have huge space required in the premises. So and other is it hides the complexity and details of underlying infrastructure from users by providing very simple graphical user interface. So in this case, what happens in cloud, basically like we see in the companies physically lying, there are so many servers are there, the data center is there, huge space is required, workstations are required for keeping those servers and desktops. So all this complexity, we are not going to have a view of the same in case of cloud. Only we are going to have a view of graphical user interface. Simple graphical user interface will be there and the menu option will be there. The user ID and the password will be given to us in case of cloud computing, and we can access the whole infrastructure in case of cloud. So this is going to have very good advantage. And even in case of cloud computing, the companies can save very much on the expenditure which they incur on the procuring of the equipments. And presently the equipments, the servers, the storage, and the backup devices, those need too much of huge expenditure, and we can save on that part just by having the services from the cloud provider. So this is a graphical view of the cloud computing. Like here you are seeing, in case of cloud computing, the applications are there. The storage is there for storing the data. The applications are there for processing the applications. Then infrastructure is there for running the applications. So this is basically a cloud having all these facilities available at one place, and we are going to access these services, whether that is application, storage or infrastructure, through the internet. So we can connect laptops, any number of laptops we can connect anywhere. We can connect different number of mobiles. We can connect any number of desktops, and we can connect any number of tablets. So like you are seeing here, we are having the advantage of connecting desktops, laptops, tablets and mobiles. So we can access the information from the cloud on any device, whether that can be mobile, desktop or laptop, and the person can access this information anywhere in the world. Like suppose if one person is presently in Ghaziabad, and after a week he moved to Bangalore. Then in case of Bangalore, suppose the physical servers are lying at Ghaziabad and he need to access the information. So in case the information is available on the cloud, he can access the information very fastly in case of cloud, even if he is available in Bangalore or any part of the world. Because cloud is having this facility, it helps in accessing the information in a faster way and in a safer way, and multiple number of user can access the same application anywhere. So I'm moving on to the next slide. This is again a graphical view of cloud computing architecture. Now see, in case of cloud, one front end is there, other one is back end is there. So in case of backend, we can see it involves applications like you can say Tally or VMS, Visitor Management System. Different sort of applications are there that are available in the cloud. Then cloud runtime is there. Runtime means running time environment is there. Like we need the operating system for running the different applications that we can have as per the user requirement. Like we can have Windows environment, we can have Linux environment, we can have Sun environment. So no need to worry about these runtime environment to install. Like in case of physical servers, we need to install these OS on the servers. We need to have expertise for the same. We need to have dedicated manpower for this. So in case of cloud, no need to worry about this. Everything is being taken care by the cloud provider. So cloud runtime is basically the environment in which the applications will run. Then the storage facility is there, where we need to store the data, huge amount of data. You know, every second lot of data is being processed. You must have seen the data is being processed in case of LinkedIn, in case of Facebook. When we people like a particular site, you know, that is liked by many persons. So all this data has to be stored. So that requires huge space. So in case of physical infrastructure, you know, we need to have a huge good storage, which need a good expenditure, lot of amount to spend. But in case of cloud, no need to worry about that. That will be taken care by the cloud provider. Then it consists of infrastructure, that is server, desktops, networking equipments, cabling, Wi-Fi routers. Then comes the security, like the services which are being provided by the cloud provider. For that, the security has to be there. The customer want to make sure that the data which is being stored, which is being processed, that should be secure. For that, security arrangement is there. Then management of all these activities will be there in case of cloud. So this is all back end of cloud. Now what is front end? Front end is basically when we are accessing the information with the help of internet, then that information we access on our laptops, tablets or mobiles. That is client infrastructure. The client which when access the information on their devices, that is known as front end of the cloud. So front end is where we are accessing the information, and back end is where everything, every processing, every server, desktop, lab, every storage activities that is being processed. So that is back end. So when we are accessing the information from the back end, on our laptops or mobiles, that is known as front end. So in case of front end, we need a web browser only to access the information. Like earlier, I have told you that basically front end is GUI based, graphical user internet based, that is a web browser. We only need to have a web browser. Then we need to give the URL and give the user ID and password. Then we can access the information from the cloud. So any questions, anybody till now? I'm moving on to the next slide. Any question, any doubt, if someone they are having, they can ask. So I'm moving on to the next slide. Now front end, I told you that it refers to the client part of the cloud computing system, and it consists of interfaces, applications that are required to access the cloud platform. Example, web browser. Like for accessing the information, we need to have a web browser. Different web browsers are available, like Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox. Like this, we need only to have a web browser with us. Then other is backend, that also I have told you. It is cloud itself and comprises of storage, virtual machines. Virtual machines, the machines which are available through the internet, means physically that machine, those machines can't be seen, but we can process our data and work with the applications. So those are virtual machines. Then security mechanism, then deployment models and servers. So all this comes into backend. So now in case of cloud, I already told you that cloud is basically a facility where information can be accessed through the internet mode. So earlier, the processing that is being done with the different companies on their premises only. Now I'm going to tell you the difference, means what are the advantages we are having moving from on premises to the on cloud. Now in case of on premises, it requires a huge expenses, more expenses need to be done, because say I am taking example of server. Say suppose we have installed one server, one company ABC Limited suppose has installed one server, and after 6 months their data increases and their application, they work on different software increases, so they need to have requirement of one more server, or say suppose 2 more servers. So in that case they need to go for more expenditure, and you know very well that impact on the company's profit, because more expenditure will be there, then the company's profit also have an effect on the same. So huge space is required. Like suppose the increase in manpower is there. Suppose earlier 50 number of manpowers are working in the company, and later on the company expanded its operation and they need more manpower. Say they want to recruit again 150 number of manpowers. So in that case, they require a huge space for working of the same, for installing of the different IT equipments. But in case of cloud, we can save on this. No need to go for this space. Then complexity in data security is there in case of on premises. Like in case of on premises, whatever the processing is being done, we need to make sure that their data safety should be there, because ultimately everything is there in the data of the company. So for making the security of the data, the company basically do the expenditure for the procurement of the backup devices. In case of backup devices, basically magnetic tapes were procured by the company and data backup is done on that magnetic tapes. Then again expenditure is there even after taking the backup. The company has to make sure for the safety of those tapes also. Like suppose the company have taken the data on the magnetic tapes, then they have to make security for the same, for the data tapes. And for that, the company used to procure huge different, you can say, security cabins, then security lockups. Then they keep that magnetic tapes in that cabin in security lockup. And for that, again, they have to do the expenditure. They have to go for incurring more expenditure. Then chances of data recovery not very strong. In case of physical, suppose if the data has been taken out by some hacker, so it will be very difficult to recover the data, and theft of data is very much strong in case of physical premises. Then it required dedicated team, experts are required, like for managing the data center. In case of data center, different sort of specialized engineers are there, like for managing the Windows system, the Windows admin is there, then Sun admin is there, then network admin is there. And for hiring these sort of people who are specialized into a particular activity, the company has to incur more expenditure, because definitely if we want to hire a specialized person, the salary of person that will be too much high. So company has to incur too much expenditure. And in case of physical flexibility, restructuring require a lot of work. Suppose the company want to procure more servers, more desktops, or more tables for installing this, then restructuring, keeping the server, like we have to decide where we want to keep this server, where we want to have the space for this. So like this, the company require huge space, and restructuring work requires a lot of confusion. Like every time we have to see where we want to keep this server. Again, the discussion has to be done. But in case of cloud computing, this need not to be worried, and this will be taken care by the cloud service provider. And in case of on-premises, no automatic updates are there. Like suppose some patches are there which need to be upgraded. Like you must have seen the antivirus software. So antivirus software, when that comes into the market, every time periodically that has to be updated with the signatures, so that it can resolve our malware, it can resolve our issue, the virus which has come into the system. So it has to be updated. But in case of cloud, no need to worry about this. Now this headache will also not be there. The cloud provider will take care of the automatic updates. Then collaboration, not easy globally. In case of on-premises, globally collaboration is not easy. It takes a lot of time. Strong internet network should be there. Strong equipment should be there. Latest hardware should be there. Everything has to be taken care in case of on-premises for accessing the information globally. So it requires a lot of work, lot of expenditure. So it's not speedy as compared to the cloud. So moving on to the next slide. So any question if someone is having, they can ask me so that I can move to the next slide. So one person has asked that what is cloud-based network? So basically cloud-based network is the network, the information which we are accessing that is available on the network on the cloud, means the information can be accessed through the internet. So when we are accessing the information, every information when we are accessing the infrastructure and the services through the internet, that is cloud-based network. So no, in this case, the physical servers, equipments, those can't be seen. Only we are having the services available at our place. We can access the information through the internet. Yes, someone has asked if we talk about SAP, Shubham Singh, is the this one as a cloud computing? Yes, SAP is basically, see, this is one company like you must have seen Salesforce. There is a software. This can also be implemented on a cloud. Like we can save on the installation of the equipments at our premises. So we can have any ready-made software, SAP or any software that can be available through the cloud. we can access that only through the internet by simple user ID and login will be there. We can access that information. So, and Pramveer Solanki has asked that what about cyber security during this? For security purpose, cloud service provider, they take care, they are having good high infrastructure available for the security purpose. Like the expenditure which the companies do for the security on their premises, that cannot be worried about in case of cloud, because cloud service provider, they will take care, because huge this expenditure has been done by them, and high quality, highest latest technology has been used for keeping the security of the data. Like latest firewalls are there, and even the multiple copies of data are there in case of cloud. So no need to worry about the data. The data can be easily recoverable and the security is very well there. And you know very well that technology always keep on changing. So if one or two incident has happened, it doesn't mean that cloud is not having advantage. Cloud is having much more advantage. And later on, when I will move to the next slides, you will come to know. And the developments always keep on going. The latest technologies are coming. Wherever some problems are coming, the experts, they are taking measures for the same. And these cloud computing providers are very using very latest technologies and are very expert on this part. That I will tell in the next slide. So I am moving on to the next slide. So already I've told you about on premises. Now I'm coming to the on cloud. Like in case of cloud, pay for what we use as needed. So in case of cloud, it's not that suppose we have to procure one server. Suppose we need 2 or 3 servers. We have to procure the server as a whole and have to do lot of expenditure. But in case of cloud, we can save on this. We can pay for what we use. Like suppose we want to use the server say for 2 hours. So we can save. We need not to procure the server. We only have to pay for those 2 hours utilization of the server. So like this, we can save on this expenditure. We simply have to pay for 2 hours and whatever the services we are using. Suppose we want, for example, high speed during a particular period of time. So we can request the cloud service provider that during this time, suppose 5 to 6 in the evening, we need a high speed for the VIP users of the company. So like that also that can be done. And otherwise the normal speed will be given. But as compared to the on premises, definitely the speed will be much more in case of cloud and no interruption will be there in case of cloud. So we are paying for what we are using. So if we are using the server for 2 hours, we have to pay only for 2 hours. So it depends upon capacity and the functionality, like what capacity we want and what type of functions we want. Accordingly, we can design for the services. So no huge space required, because every server, suppose if we require 2 more servers, immediately within 15 minutes or 20 minutes, more servers will be aligned and installed. The activities are done very fastly on case of cloud. Like in case of on premises, again we require a huge space. We need to check where the space is available. So no need to worry about this in case of cloud. So more safety of data is there, because more security mechanism is very high in case of cloud. Then it reduces the response time. Response time means like suppose we have raised one query or we want to access some information. So when that system responds, that is called as response time. So it in case of cloud, the response time is very fine, means we access the information very faster. But in case of on premises, the response time is very high. The information, like suppose in case of on premises, can have hindrance due to low network speed, or maybe if there is some problem, hanging problem with the server, there can be some problem. But in case of cloud, no need to worry about this hanging or internet speed. Everything is being taken care by the cloud service provider. So it reduces the response time. Like suppose the director of our company wants some report to be accessed. So in that case, if we are on the cloud, immediately we can access that information. Like, and I can cite you one example. You must have heard about MIS, that is Management Information System. So in every company, in every industry, MIS is of very much importance for every higher management, every director of the company, because on the basis of that only they take the further decisions. And that MIS need to be shared to the concerned management timely. So definitely in that case, we need to reduce the response time. The response time should not be taken too much time. So in that case, it's better to go for the cloud services. That's why the company are moving towards the cloud computing, because the response time is very less. Immediately we can access the information as and when required. Then fast access to the information, applications, reduced cost of infrastructure. So definitely in case of cloud, no need to incur more expenses on procurement of servers. Then disaster recovery. In case of cloud, suppose in case of on premises, some disaster has happened, fire has turned out in some data center, then definitely immediately number of manpower has to be rushed there to save the servers, and again new infrastructure has to be developed for that. But in case of cloud, if some disaster has happened, no need to worry about the data, because multiple copies of data are there. So disaster recovery, immediately we can recover the data. No need to worry about that. Now next point is no experts required as provider take care. So in case of cloud, everything is being taken care by the cloud service provider. No need of dedicated hiring of dedicated manpower. Like earlier I have told you, Windows expert, Sun expert, then network expert, storage expert. So no need to go for this. Simply this will be taken care by the cloud service provider. So restructuring can be done easily. Automatic updates can be automatically taken care by the cloud service provider. So we can easily globally collaborate, because on cloud information can be accessed anywhere, any part of the world, anytime, and on a very speedy way. So going to the next slide. In case of any further questions, if someone having, they can ask. Let me check if someone has asked some question. Yeah, Kingshuk has asked, you mentioned about security. Most of the data leaks, Yahoo, Gmail, Salesforce, Oracle, are happening on cloud applications. Currently, there has been a data leak of Big Basket. How can you say cloud is more secure than on premises? See, in this case, every activity can have further development, and we can control the activities. So it doesn't mean one can't guarantee that 100% this activity or this services which we are giving. In that case, no problem will come. Problem can come, but definitely again the measures can be taken. The development is there. The further measures are being taken by the experts, so they are improving on this. So it doesn't mean that cloud facility is not having advantage. This is having advantage to us. Like we can save on the huge space, huge expenditure, different services we have to taken care. Then we have to go for expenditure on hiring of the different manpowers. So all this expenditure can be saved in case of cloud. But as you asked about security, definitely as compared to physical, definitely the security is more in case of cloud. But if something wrong has happened, that doesn't mean that action is not being taken care by the cloud service provider. They are taking measures, and definitely the remedies for this also is going to come, and very soon this will be there, because technology development is always there. So it keeps on having advancement. So Anonymous has asked example of cloud service provider. So in the next slides, I'm going to tell you about the different cloud service provider and difference between front end and back end. This already I've told you that front end is when we are accessing the users, they are accessing the information at their end. That is front end, and back end is where on the cloud the information is being processed, the structure is available. Anonymous has asked, please suggest some recommended certification and training one can go to become an expert from beginner to an expert in cloud computing. This I will be telling you later on in the next slides. Different certifications are available. So you can online the certifications are available. So one can go with that. That certifications are available through Simply Learn or LinkedIn Learning and different other certifications are there that I will be telling you in the next slide. And Shok, it will be asking, he will be asking, will it also recommend for big companies or only for small startup like Swiggy? No, this can be used cloud computing by any company who want to save on the expenditure. Like in case of small companies, basically they are taking time to move on to this unless they are having good profitability. And large companies, they are immediately moving for this because see, technology keeps on changing and it's always better to be at pace with the technology and to use the latest technology. Definitely we are going to have advantages. The next question is, what is on-premises network? Any advantages that I will be on-premises network is basically when like the system which earlier being used by the companies, presently companies, some companies are already using like when the servers, network equipment, all these devices are available in the office of the company, in the premises, physically these systems are available in the company. So this is on premises. And cloud computing, when we are not having a view of the servers, virtually we are just having the service available at our place. So moving to the next slide. So benefits of cloud computing. So it avoids large amount of capital on purchasing and installing IT infrastructure. So in case of cloud, we can save on the huge amount of capital, use save capital on other critical business investment. We can save like the huge expenditure, like we can use saved capital on other critical business investment, like the company can expend spend the expenses on some other activities. So like in case of physical premises, huge expenditure has to be done, but in case of cloud, the company can save on this physical expenditure too much. They can in other case they can save and can use that investment on some critical business activities. It offers cloud computing offers simple operational expenses that is easier to budget. So it save money on depreciating assets. Like in case of physical premises, you know, every year the depreciation takes place of physical equipments. So we can again have to procure new assets. When the assets becomes outdated, we have to go for the new procurement of new assets. But in case of cloud computing, we are having benefit. We need not to worry about the depreciation of the assets. The cloud service provider will take care. Lowering maintenance expense. Yes, in case of cloud computing, we can save on the maintenance expense because we have to give the services to the third service provider also. In case of maintenance of servers, desktop, laptops, dedicated team has to be hired for maintenance of the equipment, like dedicated engineer has to be there. But in case of cloud computing, no need to worry about the maintenance of the equipment. So manpower cost reduced because cloud service provider will take care, no need to hiring different manpowers, and even we can save on training cost also in case of cloud computing. Like in case of physical premises, we have to hire different manpowers, dedicated manpowers, and even we have to go for training of some manpowers. So those worries will not be there in case of cloud computing. We can save on the training part because everything is being taken care by the cloud computing. So in case of cloud computing, it provides services anywhere, anytime, at any place. 24/7 access is there. Like it need not to worry that if we want to access the information, suppose 2 a.m. at night or 4 a.m. anytime at night also we can access the info. 24/7 access is there in case of cloud computing. Global access is there, and we can access the information in case of mobile devices also. So in case of cloud computing, it is basically, it comprises of computing, database, storing the information, storage, troubleshooting, and monitoring. Now I am telling you about the different deployment models of the cloud. So one is public cloud, one is private cloud, and other one is hybrid cloud. So this is deployment model. Private cloud and public cloud. Hybrid cloud is basically a combination of public and private cloud. Now public cloud is basically, it's just like a traveling in a bus, like we are traveling in a public facility. If we are using a bus for traveling, so I am just citing you example, that is a public cloud. It is owned by the third party. It is economical because we are having this facility on sharing basis. Definitely the cost will be less. And public cloud is used for storing the general information. Like we can't keep the risky information, the most critical information in case of public cloud. So this is used for general information. The service provider, as someone is earlier asking about the service provider. So service providers for this is, these are public cloud are AWS, that is Amazon Web Service. Then Microsoft Azure, IBM Blue Cloud, and Sun Cloud. So these are the service provider. So one can select as per their requirement. And later on I will tell you about this also, like you can go for which service provider. So moving on to the next slide. Then is private cloud. Private cloud is like traveling in a own car. Like public cloud is traveling in a bus. In this case, it is traveling in our own car. We are having our own facility. It is owned by a particular organization. It is dedicated to a particular organization, and definitely as this is dedicated and own facility dedicated to a particular organization. So this require a huge, this is expensive basically as compared to the public cloud, because we are having greater control in case of cloud infrastructure in case of private cloud. And private cloud is used for keeping sensitive information. And service providers are Amazon Web Server and then VMware. Now coming to the next slide, that is hybrid cloud. This is just like traveling in a taxi. So it is a combination of you can say public as well as private cloud. Like taxi is basically shared by some other person, used by some other person, but on the other way we can hire a taxi for us also. So it's a combination of public and private. So it's having benefit of both private and public infrastructure. Outsource non-critical information to public. So in case of why we want to go, someone can go for this hybrid. So in case of hybrid, suppose someone want to store non-critical information, they can go for public cloud, and simultaneously for critical information they can hire private cloud. So it's a combination of both. Service providers is like IBM Cloud. And other is community cloud. Community cloud is basically, it is controlled and used by a group of organization when that have shared interest, such as specific security requirements or a common mission. So community cloud is that is shared by a particular community or a particular group of organizations. So member of community share access to the data and applications in the cloud. So it's a common mission. When common applications or common requirement is there, the companies can go for community cloud also. Like 2 or 3 organizations, they want to access the same type of information. They are having same type of interest, so they can go for the community cloud. So till now I have told just about the deployment model. Now is service model. So till now, anyone having any question on deployment model, they can ask. So someone is asked, as mentioned, the cloud provides better security. Then why most firms are not moving? So companies are moving. It's not that they are not moving. So they are taking time, and it's not the companies are slowly they are moving and shifting for this cloud facility. And definitely, I has already told you the changes are regularly being done. Like you must have seen earlier, the Windows, when Windows operating system comes like Windows 98. After that, again Windows XP has come. Then Windows 7 has come. Then Windows 10 has come. So like this, the development is continuously is there. So development always takes place. So it doesn't mean that the technology stops at one particular place. Like the different OS version has come, like some loopholes are there, some problems, some bugs are there. Then the concerned provider of that software, they go for the further development and releasing the further version of the softwares. So I have cited you the example of OS like Windows 7, then Windows 10. So why they are doing? Because they are fixing the bugs which are there, the problems which were there in the earlier OS. Then in the latest software, they are fixing those bugs and making the technology more secure. So definitely every technology has some benefits. So if some problems are there, see, if we go for trying some suppose say new car, so it doesn't mean that that car will be having too much problems. So it has been a new car has been manufactured keeping in mind the problems which have come in the earlier manufactured cars. So the companies manufacture the latest technology, go for the latest technology and develop the latest products, keeping in mind the earlier problem they have faced. They go for the removal of those problems and develop the new products and new technologies and new instruments. So like this is a new technology and new measurements are being taken. And Harsh has asked, I am from non-technical background. Can I learn about cloud computing and get into this field? I have done MBA in finance. Yeah, definitely, Harsh. And even I would like to say this for every MBA person, even those who are not into IT also, one should one should always be aware about the latest technologies. And one can even start with this, no problem. Even if you are finance, you can go learning with cloud technology. Because see, if when you work in the company in the different industrial sector, the companies prefer that manager always stand first who is having the versatile sort of knowledge with them. If you are aware about the technologies, nobody can make fool of you. You can tell them, yeah, if someone if someone are talking about the cloud computing, if you are having a basic idea about this, the fundamentals are clear, then you can easily participate or you can easily put some question in front of them if you are having some query. But companies always prefer that manager who was well aware about the latest technology, what is happening in the market. The next question is there any prerequisite before learning cloud computing? Is it anyway linked to the DevOps and data science? No, data science is basically it's always also related with the IT only, and data science is basically related with the data. We are the data analysis, the technology which is now there, because data is of very much importance for every company. So data science is also a particular subject, and cloud computing is different. Cloud computing is basically accessing this information from the cloud through the internet. So you can go for this cloud computing, no problem. Uh, you can go for this data science also, you can go for cloud computing also. Next is what is basically a cloud in cloud computing. Cloud is basically, see, the cloud name has been taken because cloud vendor here and there, and the rain can be there anywhere in any part of the world. That's why cloud word has taken, because we can have the information anywhere in any part of the world, so we can access the information anywhere. So like the clouds are there in any part of the world, the information can be accessed in any part of the world. Okay, someone is asking, he has missed slide 4, so later on I will tell you how to deploy a new cloud. So for deploying a new cloud, see, you have to first contact with the cloud service provider. And first you have to decide for which particular deployment model or service model you want to go. Like I am telling you, let me complete my slides, then you will come to know about this. I'm moving to the next slide. Community cloud, I've told you. Now coming to the service model. Earlier I've told you deployment model, that is public cloud, private cloud and hybrid cloud. Now coming to the service model, that is IaaS. IaaS stand for infrastructure as a service. PaaS stand for platform as a service, and SaaS stand for software as a service. So these are the three service model. So IaaS, I am telling you about IaaS. IaaS is infrastructure as a service. This can be termed as a host service, and in this case, the infrastructure is managed by the vendor. So if some company or if someone want to go for hiring the infrastructure or having the facility about the different equipments like storage equipment, servers, then that company or person can go for availing this IaaS service. It provides hardware, storage, network devices, load balancer and web server. Load balancers are basically the balancer, the device which manages the load on the server. If suppose some load is on particular server, the load is high, so it can shift the load to the other server. So these are the load balancers which are available on the cloud. Then the web servers are there. So in case of IaaS, we can access the infrastructure, and it provides access to the virtual machine and virtual storage, virtual servers. So when we want to access the devices, hardware devices on the cloud, one can go for this IaaS service. And the providers are AWS, Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. Moving to the next slide. Now characteristics of the IaaS. So on-demand availability of resources are there. So it doesn't mean that when we require the services, then some problem is there. Like in case of physical premises, this issue comes many times. The server hangs up like that. So on demand, whatever the demand is there, accordingly the services will be provided. Like suppose we want one server and the configuration of server is suppose 16 GB RAM and suppose 4 TB hard disk. And later on, suppose after 5 days, the company want further 20 TB of hard disk and more RAM availability. So in that case, no need to worry about this. This will be taken care in case of IaaS service model, and immediately this will be provided by the cloud service provider. So virtual machines with pre-installed OS like Windows, Linux, OS is there. One can go as per their requirement. Suppose someone want Windows server, they can hire that. Someone want Linux server, they can go for that. So as per their requirement, because some applications run on Windows environment, some run on Linux environment. So it allows to store copies of a particular data in different location. So like earlier I have told you, in case of cloud, no need to worry about the data. The data can be easily recoverable. Multiple copies of data is there. Computing resources can be easily scaled up and down. Like we can scale up and down as per the requirement. Suppose today we want 2 servers and suppose next month we want only 1 server. So we can remove that 1 server. Like in case of physical premises, we can't go for that, because if we have procured 2 servers and later on we require 1 server only, then that server will remain idle on our premises and expenditure will go waste. But in case of cloud in IaaS, if we want later on, we can increase the number of server we want, even we can decrease, because this will be taken care by the cloud service provider. Now, benefits of IaaS, it is dynamic scaling is allowed. Dynamic scaling means we can increase the number of server or decrease as per our requirement. Multiple user can access on the same hardware. Full access to computing resources through administrative access. Flexible and efficient renting of computer hardware. So it's efficient renting. Like suppose if we want to procure the server, the computing facility for 1 hour or say 4 hours only, or 8 hours in a week. So accordingly we can hire for the services, we can pay for the services. Then portability with legacy application. So no need to worry about whether a particular software will run in this environment or not. It will be taken care by the cloud service provider. They will upload the legacy application like the softwares, like the Windows software, Linux software as per the requirement, and pay for what we use. Like for whatever time we want to use the services, we have to pay only for that. No need to procure the servers for our premises and go for the lot of expenditure. So coming to the PaaS, that is platform as a service. Platform as a service, this is used for build and deploy. Like in case of IaaS, I've told you that is used for hiring the services of infrastructure. Like if we want to go for having 4 servers or storage devices, in that case we will go for IaaS. But in case of PaaS, it is basically used for developing the software. Suppose some companies who are into software development, they can go for this. They can have the coding done in case of PaaS. So the software developers no need to worry about the software development environment that will be provided by the cloud service provider. In case if they go for PaaS, the environment will be there. Suppose we want to develop some software in Python, so or in Java, that will be taken care by the cloud service provider. Only we have to define the code in case of PaaS, and everything will be taken care. The code will be processed in case of PaaS. In case of PaaS, the running environment will be there, and the different other softwares which are used for processing, that will be provided by the cloud service provider. So for building software products, provide runtime environment, and for developing and testing application, and the providers are AWS, Amazon Web Service, IBM Cloud, VMware, Rackspace.com. So these are the different providers. Now characteristic of PaaS. This is browser-based development environment. Built-in security and web service interface is there. So security is already there. No need to worry about that. That is being taken care about by the cloud service provider. But in case of in case of on-premises, we have to dedicate one person for the security purpose. We have to install the firewall. But in case of this, no need to hire that person for security purpose. That will be taken care by the cloud service provider. So built-in tools for approval process and defining business rules, and easy to integrate with other applications. So no need to worry about whether this coding will work in this environment, whether this is integrated with this a particular software which is installed on a server. That is taken care by the cloud service provider. So this is these are the benefits. Now coming to the next slide, benefits of PaaS. It reduces the development and maintenance cost, deploy and test application on same integrated environment. So no need to worry about the environment. We can deploy and test the application that can be processed and by the environment which is being given by the cloud service provider. No need for downloading and installing software. Like in case of physical premises, we need to install big software which require huge space and that even consume too much time for installing. So this also problem has been solved in case of cloud. So pay for use, shared architecture means concurrent users can access the application. So simultaneously, many users can access the same software, same applications. Now coming to the SaaS, that is software as a service. Software as a service, it is used for consuming. Consuming means now here in case of SaaS, ready-made softwares are available. Like suppose we want to have visitor management system. But in case of physical premises, we have to install that software. We need to have a machine at our premises. Then we have to take care of the debugging or any issues which comes with the software. So no need to worry about this in case of SaaS. SaaS is basically software as a service. So in this case, ready-made software is we can go with that. Like I will cite you one example. One company earlier doing the entry of the visitors in the manually in the register, like whatever the visitors are coming on the premises of the company, they have dedicated one person who is doing the entry every now and then whenever any person comes. And for later on, suppose if we want to access the information of particular person, then we need to search for that person by shifting page one by one. That require lot of time and lot of expenditure also, because we have to hire one dedicated person also for that. But in case of SaaS, no need to worry about this. Ready-made software will be there. Like I have told you, VMS. VMS is Visitor Management System. So this can be readily available through the GUI, graphical user interface. We will only be given user ID and password. We have to enter the user ID and password and we can have the access of that software, and ready-made software will be there. Just on a click of a button, the information will be there. Like information will be stored in that software on the cloud. Later on, if we want to access, at a click of a button, we can access the information. Like we want to know on a particular day, how many person have come to this particular organization, have visited this organization. So we can access that information. Like how many person have visited a particular location of the company, say Bangalore or say Alwar. So we can have that information at a glance. And suppose if some company is dealing into selling of laptops or desktops, so we can even know easily at a click of a mouse, a click of a button, like how many person have procured the laptops, purchased the laptops on this particular day, and in total month, how much sale has happened for laptops or for desktops. So ready-made software is there. We can have CRM, customer relationship management, ERP system, SAP system, human resource management, payroll system. So if some company don't want to go for expenditure of procuring the software, procuring the infrastructure needed, hiring the manpower, they can easily save on this. They can have a ready-made software from this and can run in SaaS environment. So everything managed by vendor. Sorry. So if does not want to maintain any IT equipment, so we can go with this. Allows to use software application as a service. Peer-to-peer computing is there, like Skype. Like in case of Skype, we use for this video conferencing, we can use a ready-made software for accessing the information. So service providers are AWS, Amazon Web Service, IBM Cloud, Yahoo Mail, Lotus, Salesforce.com. So characteristic of SaaS, it is available on demand. Services can be scaled up and down. It can be increased or decreased. They are automatically upgraded and updated. No need to worry about the upgradation of the softwares. Any patches or updation is required, that will be taken care by the cloud service provider. License to the software may be subscription based. So it depends. In case of SaaS, we can go for different models. Like we can have the access of the service monthly based or yearly based. So monthly based subscription is there or yearly based. So it depends how the company want. So services are cost effective. Like if we go, some companies can go for monthly based. Suppose if they don't want to go for yearly based, because definitely for yearly based the expenditure will be more, and in case of monthly based it will be less. Like they can go for monthly based, and suppose say after 2 or 3 months they don't like those services, they can stop with that. So in case of SaaS, offer shared data model, multiple user can access. So benefit of SaaS are zero infrastructure, low cost, work anywhere, easy access, backup and data recovery all done for us by the cloud service provider, and quick to deploy. Just we can go with the cloud service provider that we want this CRM software or we want this visitor management software. So that cloud service provider will only give us ID and password to access. Only we are going to have that. No need to worry about the space and hiring of manpower, training of manpower. So like this, and affordable, can pay on monthly subscription basis. So this is a graphical view. IaaS used for hosting the server devices. PaaS is used for building the software, and SaaS is used for consuming the ready-made software that is available. We can consume the services of the ready-made software. So these are the presently major cloud service providers: Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. There are multiple number of cloud service providers, but these are the main three cloud service providers: Amazon, Microsoft, and Cloud, Google Cloud. So till now, any question anyone ask? Anyone can ask about the slides which I have covered till now. One has asked, cloud is center for all technologies, as all technology depend on cloud and it provides services to all. Yes, it's the services of cloud can be accessed anywhere. How these are usage rates measured or monitored? Are they accurate? Yes. See, the services are monitored. The online softwares are deployed by the cloud service provider. So for how much time we use the services, accordingly the calculation will be done. Even the client or the consumer can access that information on the internet. They can go to the websites or URL of this cloud service provider. They can know like how much expenditure has been incurred till now and how calculation is being done. So what example for IaaS? I have already told you that it is related with the hiring of the servers, the storage, firewall, the equipment, the hardware equipments. One has asked, I think the taking PaaS services, we need storage, VMs, etc. So ultimately we need IaaS, we need PaaS services. Yes, see, if we want, definitely, if we want to go with PaaS, this is used for software development companies. When someone doesn't want to go for installing of softwares like Python, Java, like this, so they can go for PaaS services, and definitely the storage and the servers that has to be hired as per the requirement. Suppose if we want to go for storing of our data also, then definitely we need a storage. So we have to go for hiring of storage. We can go for one storage or two storage, or if one storage, and we can define the configuration like how much capacity of hard disk and RAM will be there. So moving on to the next slide. So major cloud service providers are Amazon, Microsoft and Google Cloud. Now Amazon Web Service is launched in 2006 and Azure launched in 2010 and Google Cloud launched in 2008. Now Amazon Web Service has 69 availability zones. So see, for deciding upon which cloud service provider you should go with, you should take care about all these things like how much presence one cloud service provider they are having in the country, in the world. So we have to see the presence of the cloud service provider also. Like Amazon Web Service has 69 availability zones. Microsoft Azure has 54 regions worldwide. Google Cloud Platform is available in 200 plus countries across the globe. So there are different cloud service providers. So market share earlier, you can see all that maximum share is being taken by Amazon Web Service. Then Google Cloud has taken market share of 30%, then 20% Azure and 10% by others. So we can say Amazon Web Service has taken too much share in case of public cloud. So this I have already discussed. So there are different major cloud service providers in the world. So major cloud service provider is Amazon. So moving to the next slide. Amazon Web Services. So this is basically web services. Amazon Web Services are presently being used by Netflix, Airbnb, Unilever, BMW, and then Microsoft Azure services being used by the companies like Johnson Control, Polycam, Adobe, and Google Cloud is being used by HSBC, 20th Century Fox. So these are the major companies which are using. Some companies are using Amazon services, which I have highlighted. Some are using Azure, some are cloud. Now I am telling you about the downtime. This is very, very much important to take care of the downtime, because see, the companies who have suffered maximum downtime, one should avoid taking services of that company, because the maximum downtime faced by the Amazon Web Services in 2014 was 2 hours 69 minutes. And Azure faced a huge downtime of 39 hours, whereas Google faced a downtime of only 14 minutes. So we have seen here maximum downtime taken by Amazon Web Services. So we should consider this while going for the services. Like the services, the major downtime, the maximum downtime taken by the Amazon Web Services is too much. So one should avoid that taking services of Amazon Web Services, because definitely it will incur loss to the company. If more downtime is there, the company will suffer more loss. So I am now telling you about the pricing and billing part. So Amazon Web Services, suppose if someone has gone for hiring the services of some company want to take 2 CPUs, 2 vCPUs means 2 virtual CPUs with 8 GB RAM. So that will cost $69 per month. But in case of Microsoft Azure, 2 virtual CPU plus 8 GB RAM, this will cost $70 per month. So here we are seeing Azure is costing too much more. But in case of Google Cloud, it's costing $52 per month. So now, as you have seen, the company's cloud service provider, they are charging per month. Now they have even started charging per minute also. So per hour also they are charging. So one can go for per hour basis also. Like we want to go for having two virtual CPUs and with 8 GB RAM for say 1 hour. So accordingly, the cloud service provider will charge. So these are the different other cloud providers which I have mentioned. Earlier I have told you major cloud service provider are Amazon, Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. Now here I have cited you example of other cloud service provider also. Next. So this is all till now I have told about. Hope you all have gained knowledge about this. So hope you all have liked this session. You must have known the basics of the cloud computing. So any question, if anyone having related to cloud, different deployment models or service model or the pricing model, so one can ask. One is asked, but why GCP Google Cloud provider is still not recognized as other two? See, everyone cloud service provider are taking advancement and improving on their services. But till now, as Microsoft Azure is having too much vast scope, they are having good infrastructure. They are giving good services. So that's why Microsoft Azure is much better than the other players. So how are these usage? Someone has asked some info related to certification. Yes, for certification, see, you can go with the LinkedIn certification also. Like Google Cloud, this certifications are there. You can go with this LinkedIn certification also. LinkedIn certification is there. Simply Learn certification is there. Different type of certifications are provided by the different organization. So you can go with that. On the internet, one can check. Like I have cited you example about Simply Learn. So they are having certification related to project management, cloud certification. So like this, you can go with the other organizations also. Please, someone has asked, please explain slide 4 and 5 again. I missed due to connectivity issue. Slide 4 and 5. Just a minute. Let me scroll to that. So this is slide number 4 and 5. This is 5. 4 is basically, see here I have shown you the graphical view of cloud computing. I have told you about the back end and the front end, like how cloud computing takes place. Like in case of backend, all the services are there. All the services are there, and wherein the processing is being done, like the applications are there, cloud runtime environment, storage servers are there, infrastructure, network devices are there. Then management of all these activities are being done, and then security measures are there. So all these services which are available at the backend, that is cloud, where the services are being provided through the internet. And front end is when we are accessing the user who is sitting in the company is accessing the information, or the client which is accessing the information through the cloud, through the internet, that is front end. So front end is GUI based graphical user interface, and back end is where all the devices or infrastructure is available. So slide number 5 already I've told you this is a front end. It refers to the client part of the cloud computing system. It consists of interfaces, applications that are required to access the cloud platform. Example, web browser. Like for accessing the information, definitely we need to have a web browser at our end so that we can access the information through the internet from the cloud. And backend is where it is a cloud itself basically, where all the storage devices, virtual machines, security mechanism, deployment models and servers are lying. So this is backend. So I have completed till now covered all the slides. So hope you all have gained knowledge related to cloud computing. So cloud computing is definitely, in the end, I would like to say, is going to have much more advantage for the companies, because the information is now accessed on a faster way, and a lot of expenditures is being saved by the companies, and they can even incur now expenditure which they can save and on the other critical activities, and they can save on hiring of the manpower, they can save on the training of the manpower, they can save on the expenditure of on the devices also. So thank you all for attending this web session. Hope you all have gained the knowledge, and hope you all have liked this knowledge sharing session. Thank you all.